Hey everybody, back again. This time with a challenge lock. This is an easy set built on a KW1 keyway. It was hastily named Pin in the Web. Kind of a neat carving there. This is by DWeb on the Discord. He's trying to get his Reddit blue belt, so he needs a challenge lock. We'll see if this is good enough for the challenge. You'll see this does have that arrow marked on it. I put that there. When the lock came in, the key was not mummied, so I went ahead and put the key in to make sure that it worked, and it did counterclockwise for 1/4 of a turn, and then it froze up. He had left the construction holes unfilled, and there's some pretty sharp pins in the Bible apparently, and when I got to that section they just froze up solid. So it took some percussive maintenance. You can see the dents I had to put in it to get it loose, but we did get it loose. Sorry about that, but hey, it works again. And I put a little mark on it to remind myself not to try to pick it counterclockwise. I have a deal with him. If I get it open, I get to fix it and fill those holes with my favorite polymer of all time, JB Weld. And I need to make a new pin for the back because that launched out with the fury of 1,000 suns. I don't know where it went. It's on a gray carpet somewhere. So I've got a bunch of schlags. I can take one of those and spin it up in my pin vise and make it fit no problemo. But that's enough blabbering from me. Let's see if we can get it open for you. In the spirit of fairness, and because there was some discussion between him and I about it on the Discord, I'm going to use some homemade tools for this. The first is a short hook in 18 thousandths, homemade, and should I need it, this is a super bent to crap copy of the fail swoop. This is the number 6 swoop. The fail-safe. I love these guys, but I messed up when I made them, got them too hot, and it messed with the temper, so they're like plastic now. I gotta make some new ones. Only so many hours in a day. All right, let's do it. Start at pin 1. False set off pin 1. Pin 2 feels kind of wedged. There we go. Pin 2 set. Oh, getting past that guy is a problem. So let's see. 3 feels set already. 4 feels set already. Oh, that was 5, but I think I dropped something. Like I said, they're like plastic. I'm going to reset that because I think I overset something. It's weird because it only really worked on 2 pins. Ah, there it is. It's actually the swoop I thought I had anyway. Try this one more time. Well, that felt weird. Maybe I'll do it from the back. Go the way I said I wouldn't go. Ah, too much of a risk. I'm afraid I'm going to bend that pick though. And I don't want to bend that pick because I like that pick. So let's use an already bent pick. It was far too deep for where I put it. Okay, fall set off 1. Man, 2 took a bit of work. And I think it overset anyway. Nope, we're good. 3 is good. 4 is good. That was 5. 4, 3 is good. That was 5 that just fell down. There we go. The number 5 pin just kept falling down. Doesn't feel like I had to pick 3 and 4 at all. If I did, I only had to graze my pick by them, which surprises me because when you look at the bidding, they're very high. So I think there's something else going on here. I think I only had to pick 1, 2, and 5. Anyway, she's open. And let's see about getting you down there. And over there. Back you out a little bit. There. All right. gutted. Woohoo! Launched out. And all the pins shot out. Except for number 1. Let's see, number 2 is going to be a deep one, so that's got to be that. And apparently a driver pin shot out too. Okay, well, let's see what we got when I get in there. Disaster gutting. Is everyone happy? Let's do this. Let's get the right key pins in there first. That's a driver. That looks like a key pin. Sits a little high though. Ah, it's because it's number 5. Okay, there we go. So that was a driver pin. It popped out, so let's see where it came out of. Came out of pin 1, I think. No? Okay, pin 1, standard. No spring on pin 1. Number 2, spooled. I'll deal with springs in a minute. Number 3, spooled. There's number 1 came out finally. 2. 3. No pin came out of 4, so I'm guessing that's it. And then 5. Don't see any modifications in the body, but there's a spring mishap. We're missing a spring somewhere. Interesting. Did it fall out on my bench and I miss it? I don't know. Well, I guess I'll put a spring in it too. I don't see one on the bench. It's not stuck in the core. Nothing coming out of the body. Oh well. I'll dig for that later. We'll do key pins first. and no modifications to the core. Well, that is incredibly weird. I don't see it laying on my pad or anything. We did not actually take this lock apart previously, so I don't know. I don't see a spring. This is what I see. Spooled key pin on 1 with a standard driver, spooled key pin on 2 with a spooled driver, standard key pin on 3 with a spooled driver sharp spool, standard driver on 4 with a sharp spool, standard driver on 5 with a spooled key pin. No spring on number 4. Like I said, I felt like I only had to pick 1, 2, and 5. In fact, let's take a look. I have an idea. Tweeze hairs. Let's put these key pins back in without the key. Those are deep key pins. That would have been some fun with some long spools at the top. Whew, that would have been fun. All right, so there's pin 1, 2, okay, 3, sits below the shear line. I did not have to pick 3. 4 sits well below the shear line. And 5. Look at number 4. There's probably a millimeter gap. So I did not have to pick 4. That's probably why there was no spring in it, because the spring would have got bound up. I would call that smart. If you were to pick that, you'd get all kind of sideways. I would call number 3. Well, number 3 sits a little low too. Not enough that it bungs up the shear line, though. I noticed with the key that all of these key pins hit the shear line, and I think that's why he can get away with that, being the way it is. But that's also why I only had to pick 1, 3, and 5, because those sit well below the shear line. So good job, man. I'm going to put this back together and get it shipped back to you right after I fix those construction holes. Good night, everybody.